Hi, everybody. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing, not the radio show, not the podcast, but the new video series. I am Sarah Shaddy, and below me,
I'm Tina McIntosh.
And today we have Jason Fletcher joining us. Hi, Jason.
Hello, and thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah, thanks for joining us virtually. I think we have expressed before that we try to do a lot of different things with Caregiver Crossing. Sometimes it's funny and goofy. Sometimes it's more informative and more resources for you, the caregiver. Today is definitely going to fall into that second category. The conversation today is hopefully going to provide a lot of useful information and be a good resource for people out there, whether it's something that you need personally or something that you can share with loved ones. So Jason, you are an investigator with APS. Can you tell us a little bit about what APS stands for and the work that you do?
So investigator with Adult Protective Services is what APS stands for. And what we do is we investigate crimes against endangered adults. And there's actually an IC code statute for endangered adults with the state of Indiana, and that is an incapacitated person that cannot make their own decisions. So that is who we service, that's who we protect, and that is our population that we communicate with, that we look after. And
how long have you been an investigator?
I have been 4 years now. 4 years. So we're employed by the Marion County Prosecutor's Office, and we're assigned to the Adult Protective Service Unit. So
Sorry to interrupt you. This video thing, it's getting the best of all of us. I would say investigator is a heavy term, Jason. So what kind of calls do you go out on? What do you have to investigate?
So we'll have neglect, self-neglect. We'll do battery, financial exploitation, cases all like that come and fall on our desk.
And is it typically, like you said, someone that can self-identify as well, but is it typically a neighbor or relative or somebody that calls and files a claim?
Sometimes it's a neighbor, and they've been neighbors for 20 years, and in the last year they've seen a decline in their neighbor, and maybe this individual doesn't have family that at least sees them regularly, and they're concerned, and we will, if there's a self-neglect case, we'll go out and do a welfare check and see what's going on in the house.
So what are some, signs if you are that neighbor, or you are maybe that extended family, somebody who's not around that loved one as much, but so maybe you're not as in tune to the everyday habits, but what are some signs that somebody can look for that might warrant calling APS for that well check?
Well, that's a whole slew of things, really, but maybe mail stacked up where they're not checking their mail, and you can see that from your home. If you notice, like I said, if you've been neighbors for a long time and you know that there's no one going in the home as often, and you don't see that person, maybe 3 years ago you saw them cutting their grass every Wednesday, and this, now the grass is growing up, or just small things like that. For us as an investigator, it just takes 10 minutes out of our day to stop at a house. Hey, are you okay? And then if not, if we feel like there's something wrong, then, to open up a official case and try to get some resources for that individual.
Jason, what does it feel like to be in that role? You go up, you knock on someone's front door. I just imagine my anxiety starts to build,
Well, we get all kinds of responses. Some of them are, I'm fine, leave me alone, and that's fine. And then some people say, I need help, or, I'm glad you came. And to be honest, some people are just lonely and they want to sit down and they just want to talk about the weather. And sometimes we do that as well. But we get all kinds of answers at the door, and we just let them know that someone was concerned, and the state of Indiana wants to make sure you're safe. And if you're safe, then you'll never see me again. And if you're not, well, how can we help you? Or what can I do, to bring resources in the home, or to set up resources? And then, of course, if it's something drastic, then glad we were there when we were.
And as the next step, those resources then, I'm sure you're very well connected to different organizations in the community that can provide then what that person is really needing, whether it is just they physically can't get out and mow the lawn every Wednesday. And
Right. So our biggest one we try to call is SACOA, and have SACOA come out and do some sort of initial assessment and just see where on that level of needs that they fall. And some people just need light housekeeping and go from there. And some people need medical treatment or medical resources. And we definitely try to make sure we don't stop until we make sure that person's safe.
Yeah, so I know we're going to have to go in just a minute, but Jason, I think a thing that holds a lot of people back from calling and filing a claim or a case, or how do you say that? Filing a case?
A case.
Is confidentiality. So if I call about a neighbor, am I protected? Because I don't want the neighbor to get mad at me. I don't want them to somehow turn on me for retaliation, but I'm concerned.
So it is our rule that any complainant is confidential. In some folks, we just say, hey, the state of Indiana will just send me out here to check on you, and leave it at that. And a lot of people want to know who called, but it is our practice that anyone that calls in is confidential. That way, you're safe. Your neighbor being mad at you, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and that's why we do what we do, and keep you as a complainant, keep you anonymous.
I can tell you I'm grateful for what you do. At Joy's House, we work with aging adults living with some kind of a life-altering diagnosis, and we know that we've had a lot of connection with APS over the years, and it's really work. So I just thank you for what you do for our community.
And thank you guys at Joy's House, and in this APS world that I work in, caregivers at home are valuable, and sometimes they'll get caught up in almost self-neglect themselves in a way, and and when I find that, I stress to them, there are respite stays, and there are programs out there to help you, you just take a week off or take some time off to yourself. And I always tell people that you would never put a loved one in a facility that only has one nurse working around the clock 24 hours a day. So you need your break, you need your me time. And I stress that a lot to them.
It's a great point. I know, Sarah, as we're wrapping up, I would say to you, Jason, and to your coworkers as well, that if you do run across those folks that the caregivers need that support and education and resources, send them our way. They don't have to be affiliated with Joy's House, but we want to be here to help them as they know, the journey of caregiving. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jason, thank you so much. I will be sure, both on the description of the video and then when we're posting it, to put the links to APS and the hotline that people can call if they do have a concern.
Okay.
I appreciate you joining us, and continue to stay safe and take care out there.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And obviously, thank you for what you guys do at Joy's House. Out there in the world, I hear so many good things about you guys, and I've always been a big fan.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks. And thanks to you for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.